All right, welcome back to the White Oak Collective podcast. It is Halloween, and we've been wanting to play this.
Just found out we had that.
So, yes, Halloween, episode 14. And
17. I just counted.
17. Sorry.
I just counted. So I found out last week when you did your own that the only thing I'm here for is to keep count of how many podcasts we've had.
Well, I'm just not very good at keeping count.
I think that's what he said on last week's podcast. He's like, Austin's usually here to keep up with how many podcasts we've had.
Hell, we're getting kind of close to being doing this for a year, I guess.
What are you doing special for number 20?
Party. We're going to have a party.
There's a pressure washer we were talking about.
Yeah. So that voice you hear is the property and casualty king of Meridian. We got Jamie Thompson with us today. Jamie, what's up?
Oh, just glad I could be invited on. You finally named the right price.
Yeah, I've been trying to get Jamie on ever since turkey season. He killed his first turkey this year, and I've been trying to get him on since then. So
we roped him in at lunch, and we were talking about doing this like remote at the restaurant. We were laughing about that and how much louder it would be. And I literally said it'd be better than the pressure washers. And I haven't had a pressure washer all day until as soon as we started this.
Yeah, I hope that's not picking up recording like it's picking up in my headphones because I can't think.
You want me to go say something to them?
No, they'll be okay. So before we get into anything today, I mentioned 2 weeks ago about YouTube. If you could go to our YouTube, White Oak Properties, and subscribe to there. We've started putting our podcast there, and still working on getting video. We were supposed to have video this week, but just kind of got backed up and didn't get the camera in here. But hopefully in the next 2 weeks we'll have it up. But we still got the podcast on there. And
got a real Joe Rogan feeling here.
Well, I just thought about it right before we started recording. Austin, I don't even know if I told you. I'm sure the people that listen to our podcast know what I'm talking about. But you know the red mist displays?
Yes. I saw your Instagram post about that.
Oh, yeah. Got one on the way. So we're going to put that in here, I think.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to probably put it right back there. So it'll.
For turkeys?
Yeah. For all kind of different.
I may need one of my own.
Yeah.
With my one.
It's a good time to start.
Yeah, I mean, you got to start. It's easy to keep it organized when you just got one. Yeah, if you don't know what I'm talking about, though, go check that dude out. He's pretty cool. I talked to him.
Funny that you said that. Barrett and I were just talking the other day, kind of about the two extremes of that on like keeping spurs and beards and that kind of thing. Barrett's like, man, I'm about to just throw all these turkey feet away. He's like, they're scattered out. I don't know where all of them are. They're just like, I got them in my toolbox. I'm about to just start trashing them.
Man, I keep way too much stuff, but I keep all my. I mean, I went through like 3 years where I was even keeping fans, like every fan. But
I used to have all my spurs, and then I thought that it was cool when everybody put them on like a rope string or something.
Yeah. And
so I did that, took the time, cut them all off, put them on a string, hung them up at my shop. Didn't make it 3 days, and a dog got in there and took them off the string, and I don't have any spurs anymore.
Well, that dude, like I said, he's pretty cool. He's got it. It's supposed to be FedEx on the way here. I talked to him in like April, and that's how long that's how backed up he is. But once he actually starts making it, doesn't take but like a week and a half, and he'll have it.
I did see your post about it. Yes, yesterday or earlier, or something like that.
That's not a pressure washer. I think that's a weed eater. It is driving me crazy.
It is a weed eater.
But
I hear it revving.
All right, so we're trying to think about what we want to talk about today before we started recording. And we kind of joke about this, but we're going to talk about it anyway because it's kind of funny. The transition to outdoor Jamie. So Jamie moved. Well, I mean, he's from here. We grew up together, but he moved back here from Nashville. Lived up in Nashville for 8 years, and you know what happens to people when they live in the big city for a long time. But he moved back in. When did you move back?
This summer.
Which I guess technically,
spring or summer.
Yeah, you weren't back yet when we went turkey hunting, but you were.
Had
you
a
were
lot of pull.
Yeah, so I was trying to get him back, and we killed a turkey, or he killed his first turkey, and that took it over the top.
One of our mutual friends, they saw that I killed the turkey, and he was like, well, that's it. Like, he's like one of our mutual friends that lived in Nashville that wanted me to stay there. He's like, oh, he's gone. He's going back to Mississippi now.
That was the thing that did it in.
The deciding factor.
I even got him on the Georgia hunt that we talked about like 3 times on this podcast. He was with me for that.
That man talked me into staying in Nashville.
Yeah, I was going to say,
not going outside ever again.
Yeah, that was
lunch,
kind of misery.
That was the end of your camping.
Yeah, we mentioned that at lunch.
But once he made it through that, though, he was set. But the only way I really got him to go was, or I think, is he's a fly fisherman. So we were going to the Georgia mountains where there's trout.
Well, you can use that term loosely. I enjoy fly fishing. I don't know what I'm doing still, but
so we tried it one day, but that was it. It was
we hiked like a mile, probably
in the pouring down rain.
Not like hiking, but
yeah.
I mean it was hiking.
Yeah, I mean
it was a trail.
Meteorologist Jamie is like, yeah, we're it's you know how it is in these mountains. It'll quit. 2 hours later, it's still just pouring down rain. All our turkey hunting clothes are soaked.
It looked like we're
miserable,
in the river, and then it was cold.
Whatever, but it's we
hadn't had a shower for 4 days, so kind of felt nice.
He's slowly transitioning to one of us. He's talked about getting him a truck now. We're going full bore, and since it's
I was going to say, it almost sounds like you're cheating him a little bit by the evolution of Outdoor Jamie. I mean, he has been into hiking and mountains and fly fishing and just not really like southeastern out.
Yeah, but fly fishing's like, let's get real. That's like, that's Nashville outdoorsman. I mean, that's like.
Well, I mean.
There just went everybody that might listen to this from west of the Mississippi.
I mean, I wish I was good at it. And it's like. He's living at a place on a lake right now, and we went out there. It's probably been 2 months ago now. I mean, it's fun. I'm not good at it. I wish I was good at it, but it's like it's kind of like here's another shot at some people. It's kind of like duck hunting, where you just buy all the expensive gear and stuff, and then you got to do it a certain way, whatever. But
it's a lifestyle.
It's not
when you're fly fishing, like a 3-pound bass feels like you're catching a dolphin.
Yeah, I bet. I've never done that.
It's fun. It makes it, and I'm not good at traditional tackle fishing, but it does make it a little more difficult. But I mean, like when you're up in North Carolina mountains, Georgia mountains, like Blue Ridge area, or I mean, I just went to Arkansas with some buddies catching rainbow and brown trout, and I mean, when you're floating down a river, it's different,
right?
I mean. But also, people are on the White River and the Little Red River traditional tackle. Yeah. And, I mean, it's effortless to reel in a trout on a bait caster.
I got a story about that.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't mean to interrupt you, Austin, but I don't like traditional tackle fishing really either for that type of stuff, honestly.
It's still difficult, but until that fish is in the boat, you have not caught that fish on a fly rod.
People probably know.
Snap, the line can snap, the fish can get out because the flies are so small. Like, it just, I don't know, it's more rewarding.
Yes. The first time I did it, we were going to North Carolina with a buddy of mine, and he had done some fly fishing up there, so that's what I thought we were going to do. I was excited about it because I've always wanted to learn how to fly we're getting ready to go, and he's like, no, I'm bringing ultralight. That's what we're going to fish. We're going to catch fish. We're not going to just enjoy the thing. We're going to catch fish. So we're in the Hiwassee River. We were fishing with rooster tails and little ultralight. And like, finally I caught one, and it was like 6 inches long, 7 inches. I was like,
they're pretty though.
They're pretty, but I was like
a brook trout.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I got one. I got a dink. Let me throw it back. He's like, oh, that's a pretty good one in here. I'm like, this is what we came for.
That's the ones I want to catch. Those things look so cool. But yeah, they are. I mean, they're as long as a pin.
Yeah, the size of your hand, and it is like I just spent 4 hours, and this is what I call it.
I want to go.
Pretty.
It was. The experience was awesome. Mm-hmm. I just had my expectation level of what we were doing and what the results were. I wasn't prepared for that.
Yep.
Well, I want to go try to catch some of those, like the little sunfish and stuff that are in the creeks, like around our camps with a fly rod. I mean,
Brim are a lot of fun because they're so wide. So I mean,
I bet they do fight good with that big panfish body.
Hard to drag them through the water. Mm-hmm. I mean, a bass obviously is going to fight you more, but I mean, brim.
I like brim. I like fishing brim with cane pole. Same deal. When they get turned, like it's hard to get them in.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm assuming. That's what those. I mean, a brim is in the same family as those that I'm talking about in those creeks, isn't it? I think, but they're like
all panfish. Or something.
Yeah. But you see those. They're like blue and orange and stuff. They look like brim, but they're like blue and orange and whatever.
There's a bunch of different families of those little sunfish.
Yeah, you don't need. I mean, like you would never even know they live there in those little creeks. But I've been wanting to do that, but we hadn't done that yet.
But I mean, nymphing is not fun. I mean, that's kind of what you have to do when you're up in the mountains like that.
So let's explain that because I don't know.
So I mean, you're at a creek or a river, a small river.
Yeah.
And you're just throwing it in front of you and then following the fly down. Yep. And I mean, there could be a trout in a pocket. And I mean, I've been in Montana before and I got out and waited and I fished the same little pocket for like 15 minutes and it finally floated across the water perfectly enough for that brown trout to take the fly. And I mean, they're just waiting for something to look natural and I mean, they have to be hungry, I guess.
It's amazing how strong those little fish are and like how good they can see and what you have to do to actually catch one because you're right, they just sit there behind the current. And
the tippet is, I mean, almost invisible. But
you know what the tippet is?
I'm guessing that's a leader.
So you have the line, the leader, and the tippet. So it slowly goes down.
It's always one step up.
Yeah.
Tippet connected to leader, connected to line.
Okay.
Yep.
Connected to pole.
Yeah. That's new. Okay. I'm with you.
So he's going, next June, he's going tarpon fishing, fly fishing for tarpon.
You're coming too.
Well, so I've not practiced. The last time I fly fished was what I said 2 months ago out there at his pond or his lake. And
it's going to be a little different.
My plan is to just go tarpon fishing though. Take a fly rod.
It's not going to be fun.
Apparently, it's like one of the hardest things you can do with a fly rod. But
I'm still not sure if we're going to tarpon or bonefish.
Well, we're going for tarpon.
I mean,
we're going to do both. We can do both.
You're going to have a hard time throwing a line in the wind.
Well, I'm going to take I'm taking a regular pole too. No. Yes, I'm catching a tarpon.
We're getting a fly fishing guide.
I know, but I'm going to tell him like, hey, once I throw this for 6 hours,
I think
don't catch anything.
The guy, when I went outside of Charleston, Mount Pleasant, we were fishing like in oyster beds for redfish, and he brought traditional tackle. He's like, if the weather sucks, we'll get the traditional tackle out and catch some fish.
Yeah, that's the route I'm going.
Because I mean, when it's windy, it's
like I'm going to do this to say that I've fly fished for tarpon. I don't have to say I caught.
Did you catch anything? No.
Like just not with my fly rod. So
I think like 1 in 10 that you hook, you get in the boat. Some crazy ratio like that.
But you can hope it's that first one.
When you need somebody over here like checking facts.
Yeah.
Like a
producer.
Jamie with Joe Rogan.
Yeah, you could be Jamie.
Yeah, you are Jamie.
Well, where's my computer?
No, see, the thing is, we don't, we talk out of our ass about everything, so, we don't want a fact checker. Because the people...
So it's part we got the screen up there for you. You just need a computer, and then you can throw it up on the screen.
Well, I need an arm on my mic, so I'm not leaning into my mic.
The people that listen are fact checkers, because I'm sure that they know half the stuff we say. We don't know what we're talking about. We just... stuff we hear.
They just turn it off. And I'll try again next week.
Yeah, maybe they'll
know what they're talking about.
They have a good topic. So tell me about, here's the next evolution of Outdoor Jamie. We got him into cell cameras, and he just bought him a feeder, and we went and disked it. He's got a food plot behind his parents' house, and which it is.
Well, it's not a food plot yet.
Well, we got a plan.
It's a dust bowl right now, probably.
But
so my parents live on like 33 acres. The people that used to live there, I mean, my dad kept up with it for a little bit. In the past few years, he's not. So I moved back.
See the other side of that story.
A requirement when you're in Meridian, you have to hunt.
Yeah, well, before, so
everybody else is hunting on a Saturday. What am I going to do?
Yeah, the tie into that story is every time your dad would come over to the office and we'd be working on something for years there. He'd always talk about how many turkeys was at his house, how many turkeys at his house. And so I'd always like, was trying to ease my way into this since you were in Nashville, nobody hunted them, that kind of thing. And I'd been working on it. And then the next thing I know, I get like a video from Bo one morning that you were in town, he took you out there and y'all killed your first turkey. And I was like, dang it. I've been working on this for 5 years.
Once I see a few out there, I may let you shoot one.
No, we keep those for one a year. Jamie's got one turkey out there a year that we're
Yeah. No, I don't blame
We'll get him to.
I was just trying to cut you out of it.
He's gonna. That still kind of haunts me. That turkey in Georgia and that elk at 43 yards in Montana still haunt me to this day.
Well, the thing about Georgia, how many days were we there?
4.
4 days. So
second 2 days didn't hear anything
for 2 days, and then we didn't see anything for 2 days, and then we're leaving. We hadn't had a shower in 4 days. We're slightly hungover. Leaving the mountain, like
finally off this mountain, like
have a 6-hour ride back to Meridian, and we're like almost at the end of the mountain, and this is like a serious mountain. We finally get down there, and we see how many
4 gobblers, like
in a field,
10 hens. It was a private field that joined the public, but the mountain was so big that we never even thought to go over there because like we came in from the other side. And it took us like an hour and a half to get down there. So it's like,
we got so bored one night we drove into town.
That was the most miserable.
And like a burger. Because we just couldn't look at each other for around a campfire another day. So we went into, what town was that?
LJ.
Yeah.
And
cool.
And the way back, and this will kind of segue us. Well, we're not done talking about that because I wanted to get your opinion on something. But on the way back, it's like rainy and stuff, and I think I already told this whole story on earlier one, but we might have new listeners. But the fog had set in. You talk about the most miserable drive up a mountain. Like it's not guardrails and stuff, and it's sitting like a hill. This is a mountain. I'm having to drive. I can't see. I'm having to drive with my head out the window. We're going like 3 miles an hour.
Sprinkling.
It probably took us 2 hours almost to get back to our camp, and then have to go get in a wet tent with a half blown up blow up mattress.
And if people only knew how bad you hated driving.
Well, I do.
And heights.
Yeah, I don't like driving. I don't like heights. I mean,
can't stand to be in a vehicle. Hates driving.
I guess.
And then to top it off, someone almost ran into us at a gas station halfway past Meridian. A boat just went off on them. Well, like, we need to get back to Meridian.
I was burnt out,
yeah.
And she tried to jump on me. That was all it took. So, before we get into our next thing, I want to talk about. What we were talking about.
Camps.
So you're trying to figure all this stuff out.
Land, and Bo drove his tractor over there, dished it up for me. All right, so they told me, they're like, go get a Tacticam camera. You don't need anything special. Get the X2 or whatever it is. Not the Pro. You don't need the Pro. They like told me exactly what to get. And the mole tree feeder. So I go to where else? Tractor Supply.
Marvin's. No, you didn't go to Marvin's, I don't think.
No,
you were
I did go to
supposed
Marvin's first. They didn't have it. So then I sent y'all other options. Y'all, it's not that hard to find, blah, blah, blah. So I went to Tractor Supply, Trucker Supply, Marvin's, and then I got a flat tire. One of those 3. And I was like, dude, screw this. I'm ordering it off Amazon.
Well, he gets his camera or feed. I can't remember which one he got first. Either the camera or the feeder.
You didn't go to. You started this thing and you go to any of the 3 sporting goods stores.
601 didn't have them.
Okay.
No. So they did have them, and Jamie thought that we were talking about some special. We said just get the Tacticam, like you don't need the fancy one. Just get the 2.0 or whatever. Well, they had the 2.0, but he thought we were talking about the
1.0
or whatever. Yeah, and it's like, no, we know they've got it. I just bought one from there, but
well, I got one.
So let's just say I can't remember which order it came in, but let's just say he got.
I was just laughing
first.
at that he went to like a lumber store, a trucker store, tractor supply.
I walked into which one's by Sam's
Trucker Supply, which in no way, shape, or form it sells.
Looking around, like who's the city boy? And And he was like, man, that's trucker supply.
Tractor
supply.
Tractor. So he gets his feeder and then doesn't think about the fact or doesn't realize that then you got to go buy a battery for that feeder. Then you got to get the corn that goes in the feeder. Well, he gets all that set up. Then we talking, he orders this camera. It comes in. Well, doesn't realize that you got to have an SD card for the camera.
12 batteries.
Then 12 batteries that are going to die quick.
Sounds like they didn't give you much tutelage here. Like they just cut you out on your own. And
sounds just like a bottomless pit.
Oh, it is. And when you have to tell somebody about, like, when I'm just doing it, it's like, just go do it. But the more I told you stuff, it's like, yeah, this is stupid. I've got 5 or 6 of these things
like,
out.
I have a camera, but like his is so old that you don't have access to it on your phone.
Probably had to get the lens developed.
Well, you got to plug the SD card into the computer, then load all the pictures up and look through them all.
A lot of people still use those, though. Well, I mean, because cell cameras aren't.
Well, if you live at
cameras aren't legal in some states.
Really?
Yeah, and you don't get cell service everywhere. Like our place, we use a bunch of those because there's not good cell service out there.
I told Bo I was going to buy another one and put it by the 4-way stop by my house to see if there's roadblocks when I'm driving.
I mean, it would work if you need to. We don't condone drinking and driving on this podcast. All right. So I have everything. Got the camera set up. Got does in the field, turkeys in the field. No bucks yet, but
no.
You got a stand?
I'll shoot a spike.
Yeah, he's got a shoot house out there.
Okay.
Yeah, I got to clean it out. Now it's cold though.
Now that the wasps are dead.
Yeah. Tomorrow would be a good day to go. It's between 7 tomorrow in the morning.
Oh yeah, for sure.
No, Thursday morning. Thursday morning between 7.
I think it's in the morning that it's super cold.
I think
it's 30, 34 in the morning.
Yeah,
because I took all the water out of my hose. I didn't want it to freeze in the hose. Then it'll pop it, like the trigger on the hose.
Oh,
like if there's water left in the hose, it'll ruin it.
I don't know about that.
And if it gets
hoses are rubber,
it does. It will, but it does have to get too freezing first.
Yeah. Well, I can't trust the weather.
Yeah, you never know. Maybe the wind chill will make it colder.
15.
All right.
Yeah, they didn't give you much guidance there, Jamie. Sorry about that.
No, we did. No, we did. He just wouldn't listen. We said go to 601. Everything's there you need: batteries, camera, feeder, SD card, everything. But he's hard headed.
Well, I saw a discounted price online, so I had the figure in my head, and then I went to certain places, and it was like
so he spent $35 in gas trying to save $5 for a camera.
Plus, I had to go plug a tire after I got off.
I added a tire
at
to
6
it.
in the morning. Shoot, it was like 5.
Good gosh.
So what do you think?
What was the thing you said? You said just a minute ago you were going to ask an opinion on something.
His opinion on how much nonsense it was to have all the cameras and the feeders and
I mean, I get
all
it.
that. It's just fun looking at it. Like that's the crazy thing is and me and Chad were talking about it yesterday. I think I'm already burnt out, but spending all this time getting ready for deer season, I think I'm already burnt out on it. I don't even want to go.
Yeah.
Don't even want to hunt. I just got ready. So what are you thinking on planting your food plots? You think you're going to do some annuals?
I'm
maybe
thinking White Oak Properties is going to do that.
Perennials or
that's my pay for being on here.
Maybe some brassicas. Weren't you thinking brassicas?
Yep.
Yeah, a little late for brassicas, but yeah, we'll figure all that out. I'm kidding. All right, Austin, we're about to move into.
I do have a cedar though, like a push cedar.
Okay.
Can we use that?
Yeah. But then we got to get fertilizer too. You need to test your soil.
Good God.
Yeah, we don't have to do all that, but we do have to get fertilizer. Are y'all done talking about that segment? I've been trying to move to this next one for
yeah, I know you are.
6 minutes. I'll since it's Halloween.
Is this my segment? This one.
Well, it's about to, but I'm about to lead off because I just thought of something which was nothing. It was just me already being on edge from all that stuff that I'm about to start with. But since it's Halloween, Austin came in here this morning wanting to talk about all these scary stories that he's got from the woods, but now he says that they're not scary.
Well, you know how it is once you start thinking about something. I mean,
it's scary.
It wasn't the moment, And so,
Yeah, when you get done with the story,
and then it was funny at the time, but like to everybody else, it's probably not going to be.
when you get back, when you get done, you just say, "Yeah, you just had to be there."
Yeah.
So,
Shoot,
but
sometimes I'll carry a pistol to the stand with me just in case something pops out.
when we camp, I always keep a pistol in my tent. When
I
we
carry a
camp,
pistol
'cause,
everywhere. I've left one at the beach in an Airbnb before.
responsible gun handling right there.
Well, it was Sunday.
Leave it for the next
After
people.
It was Sunday.
After a wedding, I'm not thinking about what's in the bedside table.
Yeah,
Leave it for the
okay.
kids.
It was
that
a
are gonna
Sunday
be in there.
scaries. That's what that's your
I just
contribution to
wanted
the.
to get back home to the couch.
So what I started thinking about when we were talking about Georgia, though, and this is literally I was just so on edge already dealing with that mountain and everything. And then we were camping, and I think I was about convinced that we were going to get murdered. So it was the first night. We're in our tents. We drank a couple beers. We're finally trying to go to sleep, and and I can't sleep. And I can't remember what time it was. I think it was like close to midnight. And I'm finally dozing off, and all of a sudden this freaking light hits my tent, and it looked like headlights from a car. I'm like, what in the world? So I'm trying to like unzip, and see what's going on. Well, it was just us and this other just random dude staying across the campground from us. Well, he's up with the flashlight, just like shining it around, looking around. I'm like, well, I don't know what's going on. Because when the light hit my tent, I thought it was like in my tent.
Yeah.
You started whispering at me. You're like, Jamie. Or maybe I was like,
you whispered to me.
I was like, what is going on? Because,
Because you could hear me unzipping my tent and everything.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like. That's what it felt
I
like.
freaking got my gun.
And-
I was like, if somebody opens up this tent.
Well, yeah, I was like,
Oh, that made me just think of another story. I got another one to add now.
so, but then we calmed down, and
That's when Bo got shot in the leg.
so we finally calmed down though and go back to sleep. And at 2:00 in the morning, that freaking light hits my tent again. Like, all right, now something ain't right. I still don't know what that dude was doing. I mean,
He probably heard us talking about his woman.
at the end of the day, he probably was getting up to pee, but it felt like
You don't need a flashlight to pee in the woods.
I don't know what he was doing.
There's no way I'd go back to sleep after my tent had been
it was
strafed with a flashlight.
yeah.
Oh,
it was.
I mean-
odd because we were up there.
We were an hour
Hardly
and
any
a
cell
half
service.
from the.
We did almost. So the first campsite that we wanted to stay at was right by the creek, but there was 0 cell service.
Yeah, and that's one of my stipulations for. I
would
tell
be-
everybody public land turkey hunting, camping. One of my stipulations is I have to have cell service at night. Like I can do it with no cell service all day, but
Just because you have a child.
yeah, wife and
Is that
child.
why?
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
because
So I was all for it. I was like, I came over here to get away.
yeah, I mean, if Haley needs something, I need her to at least be able to get in touch with me at night. But
Right.
But it would have been cool to camp out right by that creek.
Yeah.
It was pretty.
well, if we had seen the turkeys, if we had come in on the other side, like we were talking about, though, we would have had best of both worlds. We would have been camping by the creek, had the turkeys. It is what it is.
Next time.
So that made me think about like a tent and gun story. We always joke every time we camp out or something like that. They'd always let me have the pistol because they're like, he's not going to ask any questions. Like my brother and my cousin, I'm like, just give it to him. He's got it. We'll let him. We'll let him keep it. So we're over in the Delta. We'd got a duck lease this one year, and we had driven over Christmas night. We'd all got up, did our Christmas and all with the family for Christmas Eve, and then Christmas morning. And that night, we all drove over to the Delta, and we had it was a place we leased. One of the guys had brought like a pop-up camper out there, those trailer campers as the pop-up top. And then I had a tent. So there's 5 of us over there. 2 guys are staying in the pop-up camper. Me, my brother, and my first cousin are in the tent. So, and it's like in the teens. And we don't have camping stuff for that cold. So we had a generator running. It had like a little electric space heater that we had rigged up to blow into the tent. We had 3 cots in there and like so we're like packed in this tent, like, cause we had 3 cots set up. So we're like basically shoulder to shoulder. And Ross is I'm on one side of the tent. He's on the other. My brother's in the middle. And like, we got on all the layers pretty much that we're going to wear hunting the next morning. Got them all on. We're bundled up in our sleeping bags. Well, for some reason, before he went to bed, he had like a 3/4 zip pullover and then maybe like a vest and a hoodie or something. Well, he zipped everything up all the way under his chin, got in his sleeping bag, got all like curled up and all. So we all go to sleep. The next thing we know, it's like everybody dozes off. It's quiet, dark. A couple hours later, next thing you know, there's like a gorilla in the tent. He comes unglued in the tent. It's middle of the night. We're in the middle of Delta, pitch black. Nobody has an idea of what's going on, other than he's hollering and you can hear zippers ripping. He's throwing his elbows. The tent's flopping, and like, we don't know if there's somebody trying to get in. We don't know if he's trying to get out.
We're all in the same tent.
We're all in the same tent. We're like, the tent's no wider than this table we're sitting at. And so he starts coming unglued. Finally, after everything settles down, he'd had a dream that somebody grabbed him. And so when he started, like, you get in that thing where like you're trying to wake up, but you can't really, you're conscious, but you're not awake, but you can't get up. Well, that's what he was doing. He had all that stuff zipped up where he's bundled up so tight he couldn't move. Mm-hmm. So he just like hulks out of his clothes.
Is that and in a sleeping bag too? Like if you're
sleeping bag, hoodie, the whole bit, and he just came unglued in there. That was
it's like a straight jacket.
Quite the start there to get going. I think we got up. We did get up right after that. I think it was like 3:30 in the morning or something like that. We ended up just going on and getting up.
That was your wake up call.
Yeah, that was it. There's no going back to sleep after that. Thank you, Bo.
I just wanted to use that. It's like I just found out the soundtrack on there. But is that the same trip where y'all about died from the space heater? Yeah, that was that was the 2 guys that were in the Meanwhile,
camper.
On the other camper.
Meanwhile, the 2 guys next to us had one of those little propane heaters. And it went, no. It wasn't a propane heater. It was the tent had like a propane heater thing in it. And they fell asleep. One of them remembered waking up during the night, like noticing that the pilot light was off. Like it was cold and he woke up, remember like looking up, noticing that it was off, but it never dawned on him like.
Was gas leaking out?
Yeah. And it never dawned on him like, oh, I should get up and check on this.
I guess like a tent, would it allow the gas to escape?
That one evidently did because they lived. So
Bo's tent has like a front porch, a back porch.
Yeah. Well,
my tent's legit.
This was one of those pop-up trailers that they were in.
I guess it had enough room to let it out, but they were lucky as hell.
That's the only thing I could think of. So, so the next morning as we're getting up, they're like, they have horrible headaches from the gas. So, like, we're all recounting Ross tearing our campsite apart and them nearly dying from carbon monoxide poisoning. Speaking
of Bo's tent, like, after that Georgia trip, like, I have some stuff that my dad gave me. I have some stuff just accumulated over the years, but, like, after you go camping, you're like, all right, I'm going to do it right next time. Go to REI or just, some store and like you can spend some money trying to get it right.
Yeah. On a lot of stuff you really don't need, but you feel like you do. Makes you
it's
feel
like
better.
that flat top.
That griddle?
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing's worth its weight in gold.
Yeah. And they're on sale right now too. That's why I might go grab it.
Everybody in Meridian, free publicity to Back Porch. Go to Back Porch and get your griddle on sale.
So is that like a little
it's a two-eye.
Is it like a tailgate top? Like it's one of those that you set on your tailgate, like a little countertop one?
Yeah. And I mean, even if you used it once a year, like it'd still be worth it.
Yeah.
I've been trying to use mine more.
I mean, you can put it on, like you said, like if you don't have somewhere to put it, pack your truck up in your driveway and put it on your back truck and make eggs or something in the morning. It feels good outside.
All right, Austin, give us another scary story.
Another scary story? Which one is going to be next? We another duck related one was we were staying at a friend's camp house. This was in Kemper, so it wasn't like we were on some like grand duck trip. He just had some like shovelers or something that was coming to his pond. So we decided we were all going to go out there and get set up in his pond and shoot them. So we get out there and everybody's having a good time. It was like 5 or 6 of us, I think. And so it's got the way his little cabin is set up. It's got like a big open living room, kitchen area with a loft above it. It's got some bunk beds in it, and there's 2 bedrooms downstairs. So we'd been up, cooked, that kind of thing. Seagram 7 played a big contributing factor to the one guy that's the key part of this story. But this was another wake up in the middle of the night, think we're getting invaded story. So everybody decides to settle in early hours of the morning. I'm in one downstairs bedroom. The guy's place that we were at, he's in the other downstairs bedroom. Ross and Barrett, the 2 guys are in the tent with me. They're sleeping on the couches. And the other guy was by himself in the loft. Same deal. About 3 a.m, we hear just huge smack right in the middle of the living room. And he starts hollering. They're going to get me. They're going to get me. They're going to get me. They're in here. They're in here. So we're all split up in the house. Like 2 of us are in different rooms and Ross Barrett on the couch. We know that whatever noise this is in the middle of the house because we heard it hit in the middle of the house. And he's upstairs hollering. So Barrett and Ross are like laying on the couches looking at one. They've woke up. They're making eye contact, like trying to get some pocket knives out. Like they don't, because they're like we're in here with whatever this is. Well, then he starts yelling, "It's a haint! It's a haint!" What? And so we're like sneaking out of our room, and he's throwing everything that he has.
What is a haint?
Like a spirit, like a ghost
I was
spirit,
hoping we
a
were going to
ghoul.
get an explanation of that because I didn't have a clue.
You never heard of
either.
a haint? You never
No.
heard people tell stories about haints? Yeah, it's like a ghost.
I call those
ghoul,
ghosts.
Goblin. Yeah, kind of like similar family. Same family tree.
Yeah.
So he's throwing all of his stuff off. Stuff's just still like hitting, and we're all like trying to figure out where this dude is. He had a dream that this haint was holding him down.
I'm just thinking if I was there and somebody started screaming, "It's a haint," I'd be like, "All right, stop. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?"
no, that
First
was
we got to decide what a haint is.
yeah, that was what cleared it up. Was at that point because whenever he was hollering, "They're in here, they're getting us," that was when it was like, "Holy crap, what's going on?" Like somebody's in this house. We got to figure out where they are. So again, it was scary at the time. It's funny to us. Probably
So is
not
that
funny
the
to
same
anyone else.
guy that locked himself in his jacket?
No, the guy that locked himself in the jacket was on the couch.
Repeat offender?
Yeah.
He's like, all right, this
No,
is
no.
crazy. He's not invited back.
No, he was on the couch trying to figure out how he was going to take out whatever this was that was in the living room with him. So yeah, same guys, 2 different. What are you about?
Dude, they're cracking up.
Yeah, I hear that. So when I came up with evidently Bo's never done anything fun or scary in the woods.
No, I want to know these
He
stories.
goes to bed before anything scary happens.
Yeah,
I love going to bed early. But these stories are
Dude,
more
we went
funny
through-
than you came in here this morning acting like you've had the scariest, like demons were getting you.
Oh, that one wasn't. That was a haint.
Yeah, but
It's Halloween. It was a haint.
It's a haint.
so was it real? Like, what was the explanation? I missed the last part
Was
of
it
the
a
story.
dream?
He drank
think
too
it
much
was a
Seagram
dream.
7 and had a nightmare and turned his nightmare into scaring the crap out of all the rest of us.
So so both of these were dreams. There was nothing
Both
really
of
getting
these
them.
are dreams. Nothing's getting us, but
I used to sleepwalk and have night terrors.
I'd sleepwalk. I'm bad about that.
I've only sleepwalked once in my life, and it was
I remember it, Washington, D.C.
no, it was
Yeah, you slept.
no, it was on the coast. Remember
You remember sleepwalking into our hotel room?
on
You
the
got in
that was
trouble?
on the coast.
Oh yeah, did we ever go to Washington?
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah. So-
yeah,
The only scary thing, and this is kind of scary, but it wasn't. There wasn't any haints or anything involved.
I'm gonna start saying that word now.
You sound
I'm gonna Google it.
you sound
What if it's
like
the
a
wrong
sophisticated ghost.
I can't believe it.
Looker
Neither one of y'all have ever
or
heard of
whatever.
a haint.
word? There's a lot of ghosts around Meridian.
But the first time I ever hunted public land was in Tennessee, and the very first morning, it's still pitch black dark, and I'm walking through the woods, and I walk up on this chair, and I can't really see good because it's still dark. Walk up on this chair, look up, and there's a freaking noose hanging from a tree limb with this chair right up under it, out in the middle of nowhere, public land. It scared the hell out of me, but that's the only scary thing I can think of that's ever happened to me in the woods.
That'd be a little unnerving.
Yeah, at 4:30 in the morning.
In a place you've never been,
Yeah,
wondering
public
who's
land.
watching you.
There's some crazy people on public land too.
So,
You call me a city slicker. There are places to hunt.
I didn't call you a city slicker. I said you're
I just didn't know enough about it to hunt public land.
So,
I have friends that did it, but they don't want to take me turkey hunting because they want to kill turkey.
Well, really, it's the nice way of me saying the transition to redneck Jamie. I say outdoor Jamie, but I mean redneck Jamie, because a lot of the stuff we do around here is not necessarily outdoor. It's kind of more skewed towards the redneck side of things.
so a haint is an old Southern word for a specific type of ghost.
Oh, so we're getting old.
And then it's a ghost,
century.
but it's a malicious ghost.
One that means harm.
The one that means harm.
from the old South,
Yeah.
like a Confederate
Yeah, I was about to say
yeah.
like a soldier.
Confederate soldier.
Yep.
We might have some of those around here.
I'm sure there are.
Well, we sure thought there was one in the camp house that night.
Well, sounds like it's an.
I would say that. We didn't think there was one in the camp house. He thought there was one in the camp house. We didn't know what was in there.
How old was this fella?
We were in college.
Sounds like we need to go hang out at the old camp, though.
No, so all right, we're about to move on from scary stories.
I do have a Panther story.
Okay, let's hear it.
Oh, wait, I have a Panther story.
Oh, I bet that's great too. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Come on with it.
Go.
You want to go or you want me to go?
You go first. People won't believe mine, just from the past 35 minutes.
Yeah, so we were, I was probably like 9 or 10. I was young. I was hunting with Dad. And there's this green field we used to call like the northwest corner. And so we're sitting out there and it's getting dark, like that twilight hour you can barely see. And some turkeys come flying across the field, like real low. They just come flying across the field. And right behind them, a bobcat comes running out in the field, stands there, looks around, and then like takes a right, runs back up in the bushes. Well, the next thing we know, this big black thing comes out there. And I remember because Dad had his gun up, was looking through his scope, and he's like, I don't know what it is. He's like, it's got a long black tail. It's got short ears. He's like, it's not a dog. He's like, I swear it's a panther. Well, then it jumps back in the woods the same direction that the bobcat did. And it was the most god-awful cat fighting that you've ever, just screaming, squealing, bushes shaking. Like you could see it all happening down there. Like it was a full-on fight down there. And I remember him because the old box stand, it was just like a tin box stand, had a carpet back door. I remember him throwing me out the back door and him come running. He's like, run. And we just sprinted back to the truck as fast as we could. And so ever since then, that's called the Panther Patch.
And then Bigfoot ran across the field.
I don't know what it was. Hey, I don't know what it was. Well, going back to your last week's podcast, that was something I was thinking about. Like, that's what made the old camp houses so fun. It was like when you were kids, like everybody scared the crap out of it because they would tell you about the big hairy man that lived in the woods or the Panthers like that was the whole goal of all the men that were in the camp was like scare all the young ones. But I think that got us both. I don't know what we saw that day.
I've never seen one.
I know what we heard.
I've seen one.
I believe there's black panthers, but I've never seen one. I was in
Savoy, Mississippi, in a tree stand, and I saw it, and I called my dad trying to see if I could shoot it or not. Luckily, I didn't.
You should have, because you'd have been the first person to ever kill a black panther.
Yeah. I think I would have been in jail, too.
No. They can't put you in jail. That's like shooting Bigfoot. What are they going to charge you with? They don't exist. How are they going to charge you for killing them?
I was in a tree stand.
I mean, you might have got like for killing the neighbor's cat or whatever.
Yeah, probably.
It was huge and black, long tail, just like you described.
Well, so that's what I don't know what to like. I don't know what we saw because it was bigger than the bobcat. We know the bobcat.
Yeah,
it was bigger than the bobcat, and it was two cats fighting. Like it wasn't a dog barking and growling. Like there was two cats fighting in the side of the woods right there. They were raising Cain.
Well, I told my uncle, and he looked at me and he's like, "You're not invited back."
Yeah. Like I said, they don't exist.
My parents claim to have seen one.
But I don't know what we saw.
My parents claim to have seen one time. I've never seen one. Spent a lot of time outside, but never seen one.
You're looking down at your phone.
Probably. You're probably right, to be honest with you.
I say every time I tell a story, he gets on his phone. It's real reassuring when you start to tell a story
You're just talking
to somebody
yourself,
and you know that the person that you're trying to talk to just isn't paying attention.
Well, that's the best thing about having a guest is because
You're
we've
letting him pay
heard each
attention.
other's stories. Most of the stories we've already told.
Yeah, probably so. Ross did get locked in the shoot house one time. That was kind of unnerving to him or to all of us. He called. It was one of those. It was a box stand that had one of those like master lock type clasp on it. You know, it's got like the paddle that swings over, and then where you put a lock in it. So he's in the shoot house. He's getting ready to go. And he had heard something outside before dark, and then once it got dark, he started to get ready to get out of the stand, and the door wouldn't open. But he could push it open enough that he could see the clasp, and the pin was back in the like the clasp to hold it shut. Like there's no way that you could put the pin back in there.
Yeah, I'd have been kicking that door down.
Yeah, he kicked the door open and jumped out with his gun. Came sprinting out of there.
I got stuck in a convenience store bathroom one time when I was a kid.
Man,
I was able to lock, but then the trigger was messed up.
Yeah.
To when you turned it back left, it wouldn't. I was banging on that door so loud. They had to get somebody to get a knife to shimmy it back.
over.
Yeah. When I was probably 12.
you might have to become a regular on this thing because you got a good way of taking these
Awkward
stories
and dumb stories.
and just relating them to just random events that happen throughout your life.
I forget this is a hunting podcast.
No, it's an everything podcast. You mentioned Joe Rogan. We're like Joe Rogan on this thing.
There's hardly anything dead hanging up in this room, though.
I know that bobcat. That's it.
Should I put on a white oak hat?
Well, considering we don't have video, I don't think it's going to change anything. But, well, just kind of getting ready to wrap it up, though. It's finally cold. I'm trying to go to the daggum deer camp this weekend, and wouldn't you know it, neither one of these guys are going to be around.
Well,
I'd much rather go to a camp than the wedding that I'm going to
I
in
invited
Jackson, Mississippi. So.
you to go with us to the coast.
Would you say like Nutcracker on Ice or something?
Disney.
Disney on Ice? Yeah, I don't think I'm going to make
Is that
that.
at the Bama?
What?
Is that at the Floribama?
It's
I think it's in Biloxi.
I got to find somebody. Ross, if you're listening to this podcast, I'll come to the camp with you on Saturday. I got to find somebody.
Begging for somebody. To
I
go.
got to find somebody to go to the camp with this weekend. If any of y'all need a guest at your camp and you're still listening 47 minutes in, holler at me.
Go catfishing again.
Yep, we could catfish, we could deer
Did you already
hunt.
talk about that?
I don't know.
We built a fire and something.
No, I didn't get invited to that.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
He texted me like while y'all were going. I was like, "Hey, are you doing anything right now?"
No, it was before we even left town.
We made spaghetti that night. It was good.
On the creek bank.
No, that's more. So Country Jamie shouldn't have admitted that. Yeah, we need to be like frying fish or something. We're up there at the camp trying to catfish, and
I
Jamie's
had planned all week.
Jamie's cooking spaghetti.
I had planned all week to cook this certain type of spaghetti. All week on Friday.
I mean, it was grand and that was good.
Bo finally drove me up to the camp. I was like, well, I'm bringing all this spaghetti stuff. We had like 2 bags full of spaghetti ingredients.
Jamie, my crew makes fun of me for that duck camp I was telling about, that same trip I took. I had like my backpack full of all the food I was going to take, and I had like a Prego spaghetti bottle and like the sauce bottle and like the side thing of it, and they still make fun of me for taking that.
When Bo goes hunting, he wants to eat like ramen noodles.
Ramen and Cliff Bars.
Yeah, well, no. So I remember we went duck hunting. This was way back when, if you consider it duck hunting, because the water was frozen over, so we didn't even get to hunt.
We drove the side-by-side out on the ice. It was so thick.
But, so like Bo's, like we wake up, Bo's making a sandwich. The bread is like moldy. The cheese had expired like 3 years ago. What else are you putting on there?
I don't remember this sandwich at all.
I mean, you put mayonnaise on it. And I was like, oh, so like you making enough for everybody? He's like, no, you just kind of, whatever you find, just grab.
Was that
Like
his
every man
duck
for
camp?
himself. Yeah. I was like, dude, like I got to eat. I have a high metabolism.
Yeah.
Well, I don't. I was also 225 pounds back then, too. So,
But no, we were sitting up in the duck stand, and I think we're drinking Sprite.
The blind.
Yeah, whatever. And the Sprite fully froze. That's how cold it was. And then we tried to deer hunt that night. We're driving back on the 4-wheeler, and I swear I got frostbite on every single finger. Like, it was the coldest I've ever been.
Hey, I went up there with him a couple weeks ago, talking about him going to bed before anything scary happens. There were just two of us going out there. We're going to hunt. About during the velvet season, we're going to hunt and all that. We go eat, get back.
Where'd y'all eat? The Mexican restaurant?
No, three-way.
Three-way.
Mexican restaurant went out of business.
So we get back, football games are on, that kind of deal. I'm like, we're going to go back, have a beer, watch a couple football games. Dude bows up into the recliner, doesn't say a word. Like, you want a beer? No. I'm all right. I'm going to get one in a minute. So I bring one in, put it in the refrigerator. Well, then next thing I know, 30 minutes later, he's sawing logs. About 30 minutes later after that, he pops up and he's like, all right, I think I'm going to go to bed. What about you?
If you want to drink beer with me, you catch me from anywhere between 10 a.m. and 9 p.m. And after that, I can't promise anything.
I just thought we were going to just get back from supper, drink one, watch the end of the football game.
You weren't asking for much.
Not much. I wasn't trying to stay up all night, wasn't trying to do nothing crazy. Not just come back and sit by myself for 3 hours and go to bed.
I can't help you want to stay up that late.
Yeah, they made fun of me for bringing stuff to eat. Dinner.
For bringing food.
It wasn't that. It was the fact that it was spaghetti. It was, we couldn't cook deer meat. We couldn't fry fish.
What did you bring?
Nothing,
because I knew he had spaghetti.
I brought
Miller High Life that he didn't even like.
I even brought breakfast food too.
Oh yeah, he did cook a good breakfast. I supplied the beds and the beers and the catfish.
Did you ever clean it and eat it?
Yeah. No, I hadn't ate it yet. No. Yeah, I did. I did.
Bo asked me to. We went to his land in Lauderdale. He's like, and I was leaving early because I was of no use at that point. He was in a field somewhere. I was like, dude, I'm leaving. He's like, well, grab that catfish in that cooler. I was like, hell no. I'm not cleaning one catfish.
No, I did. I cooked it up. It was good.
The following day.
It was fine. All right, we're not going to reminisce anymore and
that's all the show was.
Bore everybody.
Exactly.
Well, we're going to save some for next time because
am I getting invited back?
Yeah, you've been a
next
good
time we
guest.
Can do it
You've had some good
after
input.
4 p.m. Y'all can buy me some beer or bourbon.
We can record on a Friday and just record at this time and just have some drinks. It's just 2:10.
All right.
Sounds like you need to bring a computer next time.
Me?
Yeah, just work from here.
Check y'all.
Just work from here. All right. Yep. Wrapping up. So y'all, like I said before, go subscribe to our channel on YouTube. It's White Oak Properties. Go like our page on Instagram, White Oak Properties. Subscribe wherever you're listening to this if you're still listening, and we will see you in 2 weeks.